Well, Sebring 2016 is coming to an end, and let's face it, it was a blowout. But not the kind of blowout that we usually associate with something positive. It's been an interesting couple of days.
It has, Jim, and that's in part because obviously Florida weather in January is always going to be a little bit iffy, and this year we had two extremes. We had a line of pretty severe storms that kind of came through on Friday afternoon, which caused them to close the show basically for an entire day. Didn't really help anybody. And then, of course, here on Saturday, it's windy and cold. So people are here. That's the good news. They have drawn some people out. There are people looking at some of the airplanes. There are a lot of people in the indoor exhibits. But it's certainly been a much different year than previous years when we've been here at Sebring.
At the same time, there have been some interesting pieces of news here. And on top of it, a couple of new airplanes.
Yeah, we did see a couple of interesting things. We talked with the folks that are doing the newest version of the Petrel, the biplane amphib, which we hadn't seen at these shows in previous years, so we're happy about that. Interesting replica of a Tucano, which is coming into the LSA market. So there are still some fun and innovative things that are going on in this market. It's just a question of getting people to come out, see the airplanes, and get excited and enthusiastic about this portion of the market. And I know you've talked with several of the folks around here today about that's one of the major issues that we have, generating the enthusiasm for the LSA market to bring people back into aviation.
At the same time, there's some tremendous innovation. We were looking at TrueTrack's Eco Autopilot, $999, envelope protection, 2-axis. It's a tiny little 2-inch jobby. It's phenomenally easy to work with, and on top of it, this is something that actually is going in ultralights, for God's sakes, especially for the envelope protection, where it makes perfect sense. We've seen a number of companies that are doing their best to push forward, and a couple of the more well-known manufacturers, whether it be Flight Design or Cub Crafters or Zenith or a few others, out there doing their best to tweak product lines and at the same time get people interested, keep people interested, and get their products in front of folks.
And that's very true, Jim. We've got a lot of people out here doing some innovative things. James Wiebe comes to mind, who has a new panel that if it were a UAV, he wouldn't have to register it with the FAA. It's that light. It weighs under 55 grams. So it's those kinds of things that I think are really bringing people to come and have a look at what's going on and understand that you don't have to have an enormous, huge investment to really get out and enjoy flying. And of course, that's what the LSA market is all about. We want people to come out, get into an airplane that they can really go out and have fun. And that's what LSA is.
Well, let's talk about Dumbo. Dumbo is the flying elephant in the room. Pilot's Bill of Rights 2 is most of its way to a potential enactment. If and when that occurs, the third-class medical becomes a very interesting, problematic scenario in which what created light sport, what created sport pilot, all of a sudden kind of goes away. Will there be a light sport market? Will there be sport pilots when the medical issue is out the window?
That's a very, very good question, because as we all know, if you want to fly a certified airplane, you can get into a good used certified airplane for a lot less than you can a new LSA. That's just a fact of life. And the whole thing that's driving that LSA market, as you said, is the fact that you don't need the medical to do that. So that's going to be one of those dynamics that either the price of these things is going to have to come way down to be competitive with a reasonably low time used certified airplane, or we may see a lot of this market dry up.
Well, the saving grace for the LSA concept, the sport pilot concept, could be finally going back to the rules, working with ASTM to broaden the definition, to get her a little bit more weight, more speed, or for that matter, additional categories, shall we even think of four-place, and get the FAA out of the certification game outside of a supervisory role and allow the innovation that did bring countless new designs in here under ASTM guidance as part of LSA and move from there. But if it's going to depend on the fact that you don't need a medical anymore, PBOR2 could basically put the nail in the coffin.
And that's really unfortunate, because these are good, fun, and safe airplanes that people can go out and enjoy, and it would really be a shame to see that segment of the market go away. Yeah. The good news is that there are people that are still out there. They're looking at airplanes that can be fun, can be easy to fly, and have the kinds of capabilities that pilots want, low-time pilots and high-time pilots. And I think there's going to be a lot more of that coming down the pike.
We hope so, but this industry has a lot to learn about itself before it can teach anybody else about what it can bring to the rest of the public.
I think you're absolutely right with that. And vendors need to be more proactive in talking to people who come by their booths. Even at a show like this where the weather's bad, there aren't a lot of people. They need to really get out there and engage the people that are coming to the booth. They need to engage the media, ourselves and all of the other aviation media, to get their message out. Aside from reporting the hard news, that's a big part of our mission, is to get the message out about what not only sport aviation is, but the entire aviation community. And I think that we take that seriously. We hope that they'll take us seriously, and not only as Aero-News, but as the entire aviation media.
So the ultimate mission statement for Sebring this year and the sport aviation industry overall is: sport aviation industry, heal thyself.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you very much.
Alrighty, folks, let's see what happens for Sebring 2017. We'll be here, and yeah, we're ready to dress warm. For the Aero-News Network, Airborne and Aero-TV, I'm Jim Campbell, and this guy here, that's Tom Patton.
I'm Tom Patton. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Aero-TV is brought to you by...
Based on the popular Sling 2 LSA, the Sling 4 was designed to be the most practical and desirable lightweight four-place experimental aircraft on the market. Find out more about this 115 horsepower turbocharged airplane at airplanefactory.com.
Since 2001, MGL Avionics has produced avionics for experimental and light sport aircraft. The flagship product is the IEFIS, a comprehensive next-generation flight, engine, and navigation instrument designed to meet the demands of the modern pilot. See more at www.mglavionics.com.